In this lesson, you'll be learning to play the 5 steps to master all 12 major keys on the violin in the key of D major. Now, one way to think about it is to closely relate one key to another key. For example, when you play the key of A flat and A major, you would notice that while the key of A flat had you use your fourth finger, the key of A major had open strings available to you, but the finger patterns were closely related. So one way to think about it is, A flat and A major are similar, but I would use my fourth finger for the key of A flat. Similarly, the key of B flat and B major are also closely related, except for the fact that you use your fourth finger for B major, but the key of B flat had open strings available to you. C major was slightly different because you had to shift your fourth finger on the E string, but you could closely relate C major to G major, the second octave of the G major scale. Also, the key of C sharp and D major could be closely related in terms of shifting positions. You could use the same finger pattern to shift positions on the E string. Yeah, and it could also be related to the D major, first octave of the D major scale, because you have the open D as your first note, like your open G as the first note of the G major scale. So I'll be playing the 5 steps to master all major keys in the key of D major now. Of course, starting with the D major scale. And just like I said before, you could stay with the first octave first. You could play the first octave just to master it first, and then after you have learned it in the first octave, you can proceed to learning it in 2 octaves. So step 1, D major scale, 2 octaves in both ascending and descending order. Step 2, sequence 1 in the key of D major, also in 2 octaves, both ascending and descending order. Third step is sequence 2, also in the key of D major in 2 octaves, in both ascending and descending order. The fourth step, like you all know, is the pentatonic scale. I'll be playing that in the key of D major, 2 octaves, in both ascending and descending order. fifth step is your triad, and I'm going to be playing that as arpeggios, the key of D major. It's also important you are aware that for keys that have open strings as alternatives, you can still use your fourth finger, but it's important that you distinguish between keys that have open strings and those that you don't have open strings as an option available to you. So that when you do choose to use your fourth finger, you're also aware that the open string is available to you. For example, the key of D major, you could choose to use your fourth finger to play the note A, or you could use your open strings. So that option is available to you. And in cases where you want to play, for example, if you are playing a soft music, you might want to use your fourth finger because to sound milder than the open string, which might sound a bit harsh and might not pass the emotion you want to pass across. And while it is possible to start shifting positions on the A string, for example, you could shift to the note D on the A string, but because you are still playing within two octaves, it's good you know how to shift on your E strings. When we move on to playing in three octaves, then you could start shifting on your A string so that you don't get to have so many shifts on the E string. So for now, we're going to keep shifting on the E string, but I want you to be aware that it's possible for you to also shift on the A string.